All right, boys, we are back here with episode 23 of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. I just simulated through the preseason. Don't worry, boys, you did not miss anything. But if you missed out on the last one or the last couple of episodes here, we are the defending Stanley Cup champions. We won in 2028. We're now going into the 2029 season, so we're trying to win back-to-back Stanley Cups, and we pretty much have the exact same team that did it. If we look at the stats over the preseason, we've got guys like Mark Scheifele, Nikolai Ehlers, Kyle Connor, Cole Perfetti, Josh Morrissey. Those guys were all over point per game in the preseason, but remember, preseason is not the regular season. Guys down here like Chaz Lucius with 5, Tyler Seguin on the fourth line with 3, Brock Besser, all these guys down here. Besser a bit disappointing from a preseason standpoint, but he can definitely get it going in the regular season. We will have to keep an eye out on that. But without further ado, boys, no comments on the last one, but that is okay. Let's just get this puppy started here, and we will start up against the St. Louis Blues. We faced them a couple of times in the playoffs, and we're going to open our season up against them. I've gone ahead and done all the scouting on my own, so you guys don't have to be bored with all that nonsense. And here we are to open up. The banner is being raised here in Winnipeg. Let's get this show started. First period, 0-0. Okay. Second period now, 1-1. Robert Thomas scores, and then our captain, Josh Morrissey, ties things up. It's Jet Greaves in the net instead of Connor Hellebuyck. Hellebuyck has dropped to about an 82 overall, I believe, so we're going to be relying a lot more on Jet Greaves this season, more of a tandem rotation perhaps, but we will see how that plays out for us. And another goal goes in on Jet Greaves, but he has made 36 saves in our home opener. Unfortunately, we are going to lose this one, but you cannot blame Jet Greaves for that whatsoever. The 3 stars of the night are Jet Greaves, Zarenko, their goaltender, and then Josh Morrissey, who scored the home opener for us. All right, boys, so let's start that simulation up now. Let's hope for a healthy season, and let's hope that our boys can rally here. Let's go see Chicago. We know that they got a good first round pick last year. It's another loss to Dallas, a win against the Rangers. Good, let's get this win streak going. And Josh Morrissey has been injured with a sore shoulder until November 2nd. Nice. Okay, so how's everybody doing here? First line's minus, second line is +4. Oh my gosh, the second line is killing it for me. I love that. Morrissey will come out. Zach Werenski will go in there, +5 on that first line. Mats Dahl will go in on the second line. And then Tucker Pullman here will come in on the third line defensively. All right here, so those lines look decent to me. I have to stop the sim. And okay, so we're 2-3 so far in the season. Let's simulate down here to the Chicago game. See what we get. Against Anaheim, that's a win. Against Dallas, that's a win. Okay, so we are now above 500. Obviously, we are not the same team that won the Stanley Cup last year, as we ran away with things, being the 3rd best team in the league, but we can still make things work for us. First shot goes in against Jet Greaves. It's Kevin Korchinski scoring. First period is going to end 1-0 as well. Come on, boys, let's turn it up here. Second period, 2-0. Berkeley Catton scores on Jet Greaves, but then Zach Werenski in the 3rd period. There we go. That's what I like to see on Dan Vladar. Again, Jet Greaves is forced to make a bunch of saves, more saves than their goaltender. Power play opportunity without Josh Morrissey. It's looking a little rough out there, but that's okay. 5 minutes remain in the 3rd period. We have brought the shots back to fairly even, but it's not enough as the Chicago Blackhawks beat the Winnipeg Jets 2-1. The 3 stars of the night are Jet Greaves, Dan Vladar, and Zach Werenski. So with that loss, we are 500 and we are out of a playoff spot a little bit here, which is kind of nerve-wracking, but also we're a different team than we were before. I have to go to November 10th to do the scouting, so let me just simulate these next 2 games. Josh Morrissey is fully back, but let's get him back into the lineup. All right, boys, and this first line has been absolutely brutal here. -4 for Besser, -6 for Perfetti, -7 for Kyle Connor. So I think Besser's the odd man out on this first line. We're going to throw Gabriel Velarde up there because he has been up there in the past, especially in the playoffs. He's been able to have good performances for us. If that doesn't work, we'll have to throw Tyler Seguin up there. And if that doesn't work, I don't know. We're going to have to really switch these second and first lines up like crazy, I think. But for right now, it's what we're going to be. This third line has been okay, +2. Melvin Barker only with 2 points in 8 games, but he's got to play NHL time, to be honest, right now. Brad Lambert with 3 points in 8 games. So we'll see how those guys can perform. The fourth line has been fine, kind of very mid, 0, -2, 0. So nothing to be too concerned about. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on Brock Besser, who is on an expiring deal. Remember that. So maybe if we're not quite a playoff team, he can maybe leave for some picks, prospects, things like that. So we will see how Brock Besser performs on that third line now. But these 2 games up against Pittsburgh, let's see how we can perform against them. Pittsburgh, I'm not sure if they still have Crosby, Malkin, those guys. There's a 4-1 win and then followed by a 5-4 overtime loss, but we get Josh Morrissey back and we start to get some points into the team. Okay, the scouting is now taken care of, so let's find out who do we want to go see play. Let's go see San Jose. Let's just simulate 2 weeks here. And let's see us play San Jose. That's a win against the LA Kings, who are a great team. And of course, now Mark Scheifele has been injured. Let me do these lines. All right, and these are the lines here, boys. I'm going to give a chance to Melvin Barker on that second line. He's been okay, 4 points in 12 games. I mean, it's not great, but he has that 5-star shooting. He has 84 offensive awareness, and he can handle himself a little bit defensively here. He also has 2 power play points and 1 power play goal, so that power play is doing all right. I mean, before he was 1-1. He had 1 goal, 1 assist in like 10 games played, so he's had 2 points in 2 games here playing with Brock Besser. I throw in Tyler Seguin up to that third line, and Logan O'Connor will get in there on that fourth line alongside of Phil Danault and Alexei Protas. So that's what the lines are going to look like with Mark Scheifele out. But this probably won't be the long-term lines. Chaz Lucius has been great, having 8 points in 12 games. That's fantastic for him. 9 points in 12 games for Nikolai Ehlers. Velarde now +7. Love to see it. So this first line is clicking much better with Velarde up there instead of Brock Besser. So I love those line changes that we made to the roster. Defensively, we look good as well. Morrissey +4, 6 points in 8 games. Jonas Brodin 4 points +1 in 12 games. Zach Werenski 6 points in 12 games. Jacob Bernard Docker 2 assists, but +6 in 12 games. Matt Stahl -1, no points, all right. And then Tucker Poolman 2 assists, 0 ±. I have him subbing in and out with Ville Heinola. I'm going to keep him in for now, but if we start losing games, I can definitely take him out of there. But those are the lines going into these next couple of games. And Velarde is fully back. Okay, good. So he got a small injury. I'm not going to do that trade at all. Then it's a 3-1 win against the Edmonton Oilers. So let's keep simulating down here, boys. Let's see if we can get some more wins for the team here. Lost to the Kings. They're a good team, though. But then a win to Vegas. Overtime loss to the Detroit Red Wings. And somehow we are super far back from a wild card spot going into this game up against the San Jose Sharks. But let's simulate it. The Sharks are 6-12-1, so hopefully this can be a win for us, but we will have to see. You got to play the games, can't just play them on paper. First period, 1-0 San Jose. Jordan Gavin scores on Jack Greaves. Second period now, 3-1 San Jose. This is exactly what I'm talking about, boys. You can't just overlook your opponent. We're out shooting them, but they are outscoring us 4-1 as Zach Hyman puts one in on Jack Greaves. Look at that. He scored from behind, like 5 feet away from the nets. You love to see some progress in a guy's life, huh? Yeah, and this period is not going our way. Neither is this game, as we will fall to the San Jose Sharks 5-1. Yikes. Let's just get out of there. And let's just keep calendar simming. I feel like we've lost every single game that we've gone in and slow simmed, so let's just keep to the calendar simulation here. This game up against Buffalo should be the game when Mark Scheifele comes back. December 1st, qualifying people, yada yada. Win against the Montreal Canadiens, 8-3 loss against the Avs, so that's a bad loss. And we are still super far back from the wildcard spot, but we do have games in hand, so let's keep that in mind. All right, which game should we go down here and see? After the let's go see the Boston Bruins. I mean, they're definitely a topic for discussion that we can have in this one. The Leafs, unfortunately, they fall once again to Boston in Game 7 once again. I don't want to pile on or anything, but I think, just getting into some real life NHL talk, I feel like somebody's gotta go. I don't want to be that guy, but I think somebody in the core. Okay, and Melvin Barker on the second line. He played 12 games on that second line, and he had 7 points. 7 points in 12 games. He was a -2 though. But still, that's pretty good growth from Melvin Barker, and he had no power play points as well. So he had 7 points in 12 games, all of which being even strength points. So that's great. Tyler Seguin with 13, Brad Lambert with 10, Brock Besser with 16 as well. Okay, so that's good, but I'm going to have to go back to the original lines that had us doing decently as well. So let's go back to these lines up here, and I will do the power play and stuff myself. All right, boys, but yes, I was talking about the series between Boston and Toronto. So we saw incredible performances from guys like Jeremy Swayman on the Boston side, and then unfortunately the core four didn't get it done once again. I mean, I'm looking online, everybody's saying that somebody from the core four has to go, and most people are saying that guy is gonna have to be Mitch Marner. And you know, I kind of agree. I can't lie. I mean, he wasn't great this playoff run. He wasn't great in the run against the Canadians, but kind of nobody really showed up in that series. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what they have to do over there, but the coach probably gonna get fired. Shanahan's probably gonna get fired, you know. And I really do feel bad for Leafs fans. As a Sens fan, you know, it's easy for me to say, you know, to make fun of you guys and say, yeah, you guys lost in the first round again to Boston again in a comeback game 7 again, right? But who am I to say Ottawa? I mean Ottawa's not great either, right? We haven't made the playoffs in 7 years, so really, who am I to make fun of the Leafs for making the playoffs at least, right? But yeah, it's a tough situation out there for Leafs fans, and I do feel for you guys, despite being a rival to the club, obviously. But this game here, 3-2 in favor of Boston so far. We're about halfway through that third period, and Andrew Copp gets another one. I believe Andrew Copp, former Winnipeg Jets, maybe in this series. I don't remember exactly. Seems like an acquisition that I would kind of make. There's Bjorkstrand getting one on Greaves, and yeah, when we go in and slow sim, I think we're like 0-4 now in the series. So I might just have to start simulating in the calendar because we were great before. We were on a 3-game winning streak before that Boston game. Now we're not in a playoff spot. We do have some games in hand on the Avs, but still not in a playoff spot for now. Let's go to the. Speaking of Ottawa, we haven't seen Ottawa very much in this series. And no, I'm not. What am I saying? I'm not gonna go in there and start slow simming games if we're gonna win in the calendar. Not at all. There's 2 in a row. There's 3 in a row. There's an 8-6 loss. Holy cow, it's a big loss. 8-6 loss. We're now 1 point back from the wild card, and we only have 2 games in hand, 1 game in hand on those guys. So we got to win some games here. Blackhawks and the Predators are 2 huge games if we have any of them. Let's simulate to this Arizona game. That's a loss to Ottawa. Dang, that's a tough loss. And a loss to the Ducks. No, boys, come on. Let's get going here. And then a loss to the Coyotes. Yikes. And in that little span there, when we were 1 point away from the playoffs, we are now 3 points back with only 1 game in hand. So those 4 losses in a row, that is huge right there. And you hate to see that. All right, I'm going to take Tucker Poolman out here for Ville Heinola because Tucker Poolman was like a -7 or something like that. Mats Dahl's staying in even though he's -5. He's got to grow. Our first D pairing is doing great as always. Our first line as well offensively is doing fantastic. It's just this second and third line here. So the second line is okay, but I mean, I don't know. And then the third line, Melvin Barker's -5, Brad Lambert's +2, and Brock Besser's only -1. So I'm not really sure what's going wrong here. Maybe we get Tyler Seguin up, but I don't want to bring Melvin Barker down, you know? Oh man, do we try a swap like this? We go Melvin Barker for Mark Scheifele. These guys did okay when they were together. Melvin Barker definitely had more points. But Barker's -5. I can't exactly justify him going up in the lineup when he's a worse plus-minus than other guys on his line. If anything, I should bring Brad Lambert up. So I'm not exactly sure what we should be doing here. I know the first line should not be touched at all. Second line, Ehlers has to stay there. Maybe Chaz Lucius drops or something. It's tough to say. It really is tough to say. With 5-star shooting, I don't know, man. All right, Barker's going to go down to the third line. Unfortunately, I just have to make that change. Barker -5. He's doing okay in the points-wise. He's got 15 and 33. It's not bad at all, but he's a -5. He's really hurting that line, so I'm going to have to switch things up, and we're going to go with Tyler Seguin on the third line instead of Melvin Barker. Defensively, we will stay the same, and let's see if that change sparks anything for our offense now. We will simulate past this game. We've only got a couple more games to go here in this episode anyways, so let's see if the boys can pull through for us. We've got to go on a run here, so Let's go 1 week at a time, and let's hope for some wins. I don't need Klim Kostin on this team. There's a win, 5-3 win. There's another one. That's 2 in a row. That's 3 in a row. Let's go. And maybe it was just Melvin Barker. We're now in a playoff spot as well. Let's keep simulating here. That's a loss against the Minnesota Wild, but I think we can come. There's a win. Nice, boys. After we lose, just get right back on that horse and get a win. Oh my gosh, yeah, these are the lines for sure. Having Tyler Seguin up there on that second line is really making a big difference. On the third line is making a huge difference compared to Melvin Barker. I mean, as soon as we make that change, we go 1, 2, 3, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1 after that change to put Tyler Seguin on that third line. So huge changes, and we are now in a divisional playoff spot as well with 49 points. Looks like we might be safe for a wild card, at least making the playoffs. We have 49 points out in the Pacific Division. Those two, the people in place 4 and 5 have 44 and 42. We have 49, tied with the Wild and the Avalanche. So those were actually 2 big games. We lost the one to the Wild, but we beat the Avs. Now we're playing the Nashville Predators, another pretty big game, fairly big anyways. We will watch this game at home, and then we will be exactly halfway through the season, and we can take an in-depth look at the stats and things like that. First period, it goes to the Nashville Predators because of course it does. Esa Lindell, former Winnipeg Jets, and then Daniel Sprong as well. Second period now 5-2 in favor of the Nashville Predators. Daniel Sprong gets his natural hat trick because of course he does. And once again, when we've gone in and watched these games live, we have been demolished here. This is a sight for sore eyes for Winnipeg Jet fans. Man, I want to go in and watch these games because it brings, more storylines, more character, things like that to the roster. But if we're just going to lose every single time we go in and watch, what's the point, right? I can't have us automatically wasting points, losing games unnecessarily. So that's a loss to the Nashville Predators. To finish off the simulation portion of this video, in 41 games, we go 23, 15, and 3 on pace for 98 points, which should be good to make the playoffs, and 46, 30, and 6 record for us is our projected stats. Looking at our player stats, actually no, we'll start with the team stats. We will start with the team stats. So we are third in our division, obviously, 23, 15, and 3. We have a 3.51 goals for per game. That's the best in our, no, second best in our division. Okay, you like to see that. Our goals against 2.93 as well. That's actually best in our division, tied for best in our division with Chicago. Okay, so the underlying numbers are good. Power play is good as well, 23.1%, third best in our division, and penalty kill at 80. At least we have that. The total percentage is above 100. Let's check the entire league where we are now. Let's go by place first. So the Rangers are first. They are on pace for 60 wins and 16 losses. Holy cow, what a season that would be. St. Louis on pace for 50 wins. Tampa Bay is here. Where are we in the entire league? We are around, I assume around the 15 mark. Yeah, 13th place in the entire league. The defending Stanley Cup champions. We're really fighting with these other teams out here. Unfortunately for the Montreal Canadiens, that Eastern Division is just so competitive that they are 9th place and are in a wild card spot. Same thing with the Bruins, who are 12th in a wild card spot. Yeah, so that's pretty crazy out there. Nashville doesn't even probably not even make the playoffs, and they're 16th, which is interesting to say. Who leads the league in goals for per game? It's the Tampa Bay Lightning with 3.89, but we are in here. We're tied for 6th or so. So that's good. We're like the 6th best offensive team. And then defensively, we are the 4th best defensive team. Yeah, we're tied for 4th best defensive team. So that's pretty good. We have really good underlying numbers. I'm not sure exactly why we're not doing it too hot. We also have the 5th or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the 5th best power play. So that's great. That's a stat that we usually struggled in. And penalty kill, we're more towards the bottom here. But it's not the end of the world. Again, we're about 15th or 16th in our penalty kill. So we could definitely, if we could make that work, that would be nice. We're a great road team. We might be one of the best teams on the road. No, we're not, but we're like the 5th best team on the road. But we are a horrible team at home, which is completely opposite to what you would assume for a team like Winnipeg. They have a great road record. We are also the 8th best team currently in playing as the 8th best team in the league. So those are the team stats. Let's take a look at who the worst team in the league is. So the Rangers obviously the best. But if we go down, we want to take a look at who's getting these big draft picks, who, Toronto not making the playoffs. Yikes, that's tough to see. The Kings missing out, Dallas Stars missing out, the Sens, of course, missing out, because why can we have anything nice in this world? Seattle is listed as the last team in the league. They are tied for last with Columbus points-wise, but Columbus has the tiebreaker over them. Arizona Coyotes, Ottawa Senators, Philadelphia Flyers, all these guys down here. You guys can see them for yourselves. Looking at the player stats now, after that change, it looks like the first and second line are clicking well together. Cole Perfetti, 40 points in 41 games. That's the season that we need out of him. He probably won't grow past what he is right now, but that's a good first line center, almost point per game for him. I would gladly take that. Kyle Connor now with 39 points. He also has 22 goals, which is good. Usually, I feel like he hasn't been scoring too much in this series. Yeah, only 25 goals last year. This season he's on pace for 44, which would be not tied, but one under his career high with us. Obviously, he scored 47 in 2022, but with us, that would be tied for his career high with us as the GM, which would be nice. Not tied for it, but one under, but still same kind of thing. Nikolai Ehlers on pace for 78 points. This guy's always a real good performer for us. He had 73, 63, 83, 68 here, but he's usually in that 70 to 80 range, usually in that low 70 range, but this time on pace for 78. Brock Besser on pace for 64. So Brock Besser, despite having third line time, is actually having a career year almost. With Vancouver, he had a better season, but he's having a great season even though he's on that third line. So I'm going to keep him there as long as he's performing like that. That is great stuff. Ches Lucius on pace for 64, which would be a career season for the young kid. Let's keep that pace up, Chaz. Zach Werenski on pace for 28. Josh Morrissey, he's only played 37 games, but still, let's extrapolate that to roughly the same as Zach Werenski here, roughly about 58, 55 type points. I would like to see that increase, but he is a plus 21 as well, so let's not get too carried away with ourselves. Tyler Seguin on pace for 48. Great season from Tyler Seguin, playing fourth and third line time with us. I love seeing that. Gabriel Velarde, he's playing first line time. He's only on pace for 46, but he's a great defensive player, and he really helps the plus minus on that first line. He gets the other guys around him playing well, so I'm not going to complain about Gabriel Velarde only having 23. Now, Mark Scheifele in 29 games has 23 points. That's probably a 60, maybe 55, 60 point pace for him. That's great to see. And even Melvin Barker playing on the fourth line right now, he's on pace for 42 points. So great season for Melvin Barker. For a rookie season to get 42, that's huge. Brad Lambert on pace for 30. Lambert not a goal scorer or a points getter really. He's just in there for the defensive category. He's a +6 on a line that was mostly minus. So I'm not going to complain about Brad Lambert. Jonas Brodin on pace for 30. At the age of 35, he's on pace to have his best season in 4 years. Oof, that looks nice for Jonas Brodin. Alexei Protas, 11 points, on pace for 22. Phil Danault on pace for 20. Jacob Bernard-Docker, he's a +7 though, playing alongside of Zach Werenski. Matt Stahl only -1, so he's brought his plus-minus out, and he also has 6 points to show for it as well. So him with Ville Heinola is definitely the pairing that we have to go with. Still an 80 overall. We will check maybe the progress reports even to see what these guys are doing. Yeah, but Tucker Pullman is really dragging Matt Stahl down. Logan O'Connor, when he was in the lineup, he got 1 assist and was a 0. Let's look at goaltenders now, because this is a place where we are quite concerned. Yeah, Connor Hellebuyck, 7-5-1, no shutouts, .899 save percentage, and 3.07 goals against average. As an 82 overall, making 8.5 mil. The contract is going to be rough. Luckily, Jet Greaves has shown up for us this year, though. 16-12-2, 1 shutout, .913 save percentage, 2.81 goals against average. I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever. We might have to look at a backup goalie going into the trade deadline, but again, you guys can let me know what you think about that. Into the entire league now, it's Philip Forsberg, who's on pace for 114 points. Then Philip Keto. Wow, so Nashville has some heavy hitters on their team. Here's Kucherov, Kaprizov, Barkov. Oh my gosh, all the Ovs here getting a bunch of points. Sebastian Aho, Braden Point, Connor Bedard on pace for 100 Brendan Hagel on pace for 100. Robert Thomas. Nathan MacKinnon on pace for, wow, not even on pace for 100 for Nathan MacKinnon. That's tough. Mitch Marner close to 100. Adam Fox on pace for 98. Brady Tkachuk on pace for, wow, I would love to see a season like that out of Brady. As a Sens fan, that would definitely be nice. Elias Lindholm is here, Matthew Boldy, Nick Suzuki, Austin Matthews, all these guys down here having good seasons for the respective teams. Let's look at the goal scorers now, and it's Nathan MacKinnon who's on pace for the Rocket at 29 goals, on pace for 58. Okay. Nice to see. Let's look at defensively now. Obviously, we know that it's Adam Fox, but Cale Makar is actually right behind him. He has more games played, though, so, take that with a grain of salt. He's also a -2. Yikes. So Cale probably not playing alongside of Bowen Byram in this universe anymore, because when he was, that man he had a great plus-minus. He had the best defensive pairing in the league. Who has the best defensive pairing in the league right now? It's probably Jonas Brodin and Josh Morrissey. That's great to see. I love seeing those numbers out of our guys. And you can tell because those are the only two guys in the top who are really on the same team as each other. So I will gladly take having one of the best defensive pairings in the league. Maybe not the best, but one of the best at the very least. Goaltender-wise, Igor Shesterkin is doing his thing. 918 save percentage, 2.57 goals against average. Those are basically real-life numbers. Same thing here with Stuart Skinner, 921, 2.47. Usually you'll get numbers, similar to like this. Anton Forsberg, 905 save percentage, 3.14. Also, Anton Forsberg, an 80 overall goalie, has the second most wins in the entire NHL. Nicey. I love to see that. Yeah, usually you'll get more numbers in like the 905 to like 910 range with like 2.8, 2.9 goals against average, and that's a pretty decent season out of a goalie. But as I just scroll here, you guys can see what I'm talking about. But having numbers like a 921 is pretty crazy so far. And Jack Reeves is actually up here as well, 913, 2.81. He actually has some pretty good numbers for all these guys above him. I mean, I would take his numbers over a lot of these guys up here. Maybe Dan Vladar has better numbers. Georgiev might have a bit better numbers. Stewart definitely has better numbers. And Shesterkin, but that's only a handful of goalies right there. And then looking at rookie skaters, do we have a chance at this? We actually do have a chance. Melvin Barker with 21 and 41. Tuukko Pekarainen. He was a 4th-round pick in 2024, so the first year he was a 4th-round pick. He's a low elite two-way forward, wow, who was putting up a bunch of points with Washington. Nothing crazy, but still, it's cool to see. Then Juha Tuppurainen. All these Finns, are these both Finnish players? Yeah, of course they are. The fantastic Finns are making their way into the NHL here. And then Cam Arsene, first overall pick last year. Matthias Sapelev, I don't know who this guy is, but he's a real player. So congrats to him as a center up there. And he's going to get some Calder considerations as well. Any rookie goalies tearing it up? Not really. And that's going to do it for the look at the player stats at the very least. Now, let's go into the trade blocks and see who's available. So this team, I think we could use a penalty killer, like a third-line penalty killer, somebody like that. I'm not entirely sure what we need, but that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Guys on one-year deals, who could just be some good penalty killers for us. Maybe a guy like Pavel Dorofeyev, except he's a sniper and not a two-way forward, so probably not him. This is what Anaheim's block looks like. This is Arizona. They've got Teuvo Teravainen. We cannot get him under any circumstances because he's making $13 million. Jake Evans is here. Other than that, nothing crazy. Jake Evans actually a two-way forward, right? He could be okay for us. He fits the second penalty kill as well. He's an 84 overall. Yeah, this could be somebody for us, but not the craziest player by any means. He doesn't put up a lot of points, so not insane. Michael Bunting, is he on an extension? No, he's not. So Michael Bunting is a guy here as well. Two-way forward, penalty kill 1 maybe. But again, is Carolina a good team? They're in the mix. They're in the mix. So Bunting is definitely an option. Drew Doughty is here for 1 more year if we want to try to get a guy who simulates well pretty much no matter what. He's got 13 points in 41 games. He's a +5, has a 78 overall. Those are pretty good numbers, if I do say so myself. Columbus out here. We've done big deals with Columbus in the past. Adam Boqvist is here, making $5 million as an 85 overall. That's actually a pretty good contract. But he's an offensive defenseman, which we don't really need. Ivan Barbashev kind of making too much. Adam Lowry, we could go try to get our captain back. Adam Lowry, he would be good for the penalty kill. He fits the bottom 6 lines. He's playing their 4th line. He has 14 points in 42 games. Not bad at all. And Kirill Marchenko, what is he? He's a sniper. Yeah, sniper. 2nd line. We don't really need another sniper. We have guys who can put that puck in the back of the net, I think. Jonathan Drouin is here as a playmaker. Yeah, he's okay, but he's playing 4th line time. Nothing special by any means. Just a depth pickup if we want to get him. Maybe he can play 2nd line time for a little bit. Here's Joel Eriksson Neck, but we're going to have to give away a bunch of firsts, some huge prospects, guys like that. But he is a great player, and he's a two-way forward. He could be, he could be a first-line center for us this season. We throw Perfetti down to the 2nd line and things like that. But our first line has been great, so I'm not sure if I would even want to do that. Clem Costin's here, all these guys. In Montreal, they're selling away a lot of depth guys, some prospects as well. In Nashville with William Karlsson, this is a decent two-way forward. William Karlsson in his older age, he fits the 1st line, but he's not going to be playing there, so maybe not. Ricard Raquel, Josh Anderson. Over here in New Jersey now, Grigory Denisenko, good playmaker. Wow, really good puck skills for somebody who's only 81 overall. This could be a sneaky ad. He could be a power play specialist here. Great passing. Pretty bad offensive awareness, but a great skater. He's got decent shooting as well. He's a great offensive player, but he just doesn't have that defense. Throw him in the top 6, and he could definitely grow if you're looking for a steal there. If you're like a young team who just wants, a middle 6 guy who can score some points, Grigory Denisenko might be your guy. Sonny Milano is here. Connor Brown is a two-way forward with decent stats, 2nd line. He's not playing on their power play or as their penalty kill for some reason, so that's interesting. Shane Pinto is also here as a center. Shane Pinto has only played 2 games this year, so he would be mad. He would be very, very mad. If I was Shane Pinto, I would want out of there ASAP, man. That's a horrible situation for him. Shane Pinto could be somebody that we look at. Here's Trent Frederick as well, power forward, definitely a good guy in the playoffs. He had some big goals for the Boston Bruins in the real world. Luke Kunin, Jack McBain, another two-way forward. He's on their 2nd penalty kill, so that's interesting. Pittsburgh now, Liam Kirk. Yeah, Liam Kirk, two-way forward, drafted in the 7th round in 2018. He's finally made his NHL debut. Good for him. Tyson Forrester. San Jose has some prospects. Seattle now with some prospects. St. Louis, Pavel Buchnevich is here, but making way too much money. Noah Gregor as well. Tampa Bay with Victor Hedman on the block for Tampa Bay, but there's no way we can pick him up at $11.36 million. Same thing with really any of these guys, Trevor Moore or Jacob Trouba. Trevor Moore obviously won a cup with us last year. In Toronto, they've got Jesper Boqvist. I like Jesper Boqvist. I like what he's doing out there in the real world. In this universe, though, definitely a left winger, not a center whatsoever. Good skater. Yeah, he's kind of just meh. Two-way forward, though, he fits on our 1st penalty kill, so maybe he could be somebody to help out the penalty kill. Tyler Toffoli is here as well, only for 1 more year. Sniper, 4-star shooting still, 4-star puck skills, 4-star senses. Wow. Tyler Toffoli. At an 80 overall, he's got 28 points in 42 games for a 1-year type thing. We could trade him at the draft as an 80 overall. That could be something. That could definitely be something, Tyler Toffoli. I know he's a lower overall, but those offensive stats still look good as ever. Alex Pietrangelo, he's only played 5 games. That's crazy, but we don't really need defensemen, I don't think, on this roster. Mason Appleton is here, former Winnipeg Jet. And then, last but not least, Washington with some depth pieces out there. Let's look at goaltenders now, if there's any goalies on the block. No, of course there's not. Let's go to just goalies in general, and we will see teams who have multiple goalies who have kind of a guy that they can trade away here. So there's Vitek Vanacek, John Gibson, and this guy, Nikita Nikita whatever, in the AHL system, but they probably don't want to trade him. He's going to be the next, they're hoping that he's the next John Gibson, so the Anaheim Ducks probably out. Over here in Arizona, they've got 3 goalies, so we can probably pick one of them, either Phoenix Copley, Joel Hofer. I wouldn't want Karl Vejmelka, but I would definitely be down for Hofer or Copley. In Boston, they've got 3 goalies as well. Jordan Binnington playing in the AHL, so Binnington could be somebody that we take a look at. Chris Drieger is here as well if we want to go for him instead. Buffalo doesn't really have many. Same thing with Calgary, not too many goalies that are useful. Okay, down here in Carolina, they've got Kachetkov, Tarasov, and Samuel Montembeault. Anybody with extensions? Nope. So if you're looking at guys like that, these guys could definitely be something. Chicago now, Dan Vladar or Olivier Rodrigue or Soderblom. Those are the 3 goalies there. Colorado, nobody. Columbus, not really anybody. Dallas, nobody. Detroit, nah, they have, I mean, we could go with Makanainen, I suppose, but he's their AHL goalie, so we would have to give up our AHL goalie, which is okay. No one in Edmonton. Florida with nobody. LA Kings, not really anybody there. Minnesota, okay, Hunter Jones here in Minnesota could be somebody. Hunter Jones, still 2 more years left on his deal, but definitely could be an addition. Alex Nedeljkovic also having a good season in the AHL, but obviously the NHL is a bit better, and he's only a 79, so I'd like to see 80 plus for sure that I'm looking at getting. New Jersey now, Islanders, oh my gosh, a lot of these teams only have 1 goalie, which is crazy to think. Some teams hoard all the goalies, and some teams only have like 1 good goalie and then nobody else. So over here, there's Klang, and then there's Boissois. So we'd probably, if we might be able to bring back Laurent Boissois, who is a former Winnipeg Jet, obviously. 2 more years on an $800K deal, but he's not having a good season whatsoever. Pittsburgh, yeah, Pittsburgh has, we could definitely pick up Joel Blomqvist. Yeah, this could definitely be an ad. Yes, Joel Blomqvist is a huge target here. I think I might want to pick him up for sure, because they have Gabriel Dagla and they have Tristan Jarry, both as 87-86, and then Joel Blomqvist is just withering away here in the AHL, so he definitely wants to be an NHL player, so he could be a backup for us to Jet Greaves for sure. Obviously, Hellebuck has to stay on the team, but we could give them an AHL goalie and then, I don't know, like a 7th round pick, 6th round pick or something, and that might be able to get it done. So I'm definitely looking at Pittsburgh for the goalie trade for right now. St. Louis, not really anybody. Tampa, no one. Toronto, not really. They have Frederick Anderson back. That's kind of funny, but they don't really have any goalies for us. Okay, here in Vancouver, we could go with Artur Silovs, playoff legend in Vancouver right now. This guy can go anywhere. This guy's walking on water in Vancouver, I feel like. Silovs having a great season in the AHL. Lankinen having a bad season in the NHL, so maybe we go with Silovs or Lankinen. Could be options, but I'm still liking that Pittsburgh goalie a little bit more, Joel Blomqvist. And then here in Washington, not really anybody. So that does it for the trade blocks and things like that. And that also does it for this episode, boys. We're halfway through the season. We took a look at all the trade blocks and stuff. Let me know who you guys think. Do we need a 2-way forward, kind of a penalty killer who can play both sides of the ice more, or do we need a little bit more scoring? We're a great offensive team and defensive team, but just that special teams is where we struggle a little bit. Also, if you want, we can take a look at these lines. Should I make any adjustments? I think the first line is playing great so far. Kyle Connor, Cole Perfetti, and Gabriel Velarde, all super big pluses. Even the second line is doing okay. They're kind of hovering around that even mark. But then this third line really turned it up with Tyler Seguin on their line. And Besser and Seguin, I think, are really connecting well together. Melvin Barker is here with Danault and Protas. I think they're a good line as well. They're +2. So on the overalls, so I like to see that. Defensively, we have the best first pairing in all of defense. Zach Werenski and Jacob Bernard-Docker are still doing their thing with us, and then Matt Stahl and Ville Heinola are doing better than when Matt Stahl was just alone. I'll also take a look at the progress report, see if Barker has grown at all in any of his categories. If he has grown, if not, that's okay, but I would like to see some type of growth. Mark Scheifele is growing statistically, so he's not even dropping off in natural growth, but his statistic growth is growing. That is great to see. Chaz Lucius is also growing statistically, so hopefully he can jump up to 85, 86 overall. Tyler Seguin is also growing statistically, but he is falling off a little bit because of his age. Besser growing statistically as well. Josh Morrissey growing statistically. Yep, you love to see it. Brad Lambert, is he growing? He's growing as well, so maybe he can jump up even a little bit as well. Kyle Connor, he's growing. Danault probably dropping. Nikolai Ehlers should be growing a little bit. Yes, he is. Jonas Brodin, he's dropping off statistically, even though he's the best defensive pair in the league. Logan O'Connor probably dropping. No, he's actually growing. Wow, even though he played like 12 games. That's interesting. But no growth. Okay, one little slick of growth here for Melvin Barker on his durability. So he's not growing too much, but hopefully over the offseason he can. And the last thing I want to take a look at for you guys is the contracts, because we are in January now. Anybody who's on expiring deal can get a contract. And here's Josh Morrissey, who wants see, you guys see what I'm saying? We signed him to a 1-year deal, and now he wants 4 years, 11.725 mil. That's a much more digestible contract. Brock Besser here wants 3 years, 6.775. Okay, I'd be maybe, I don't know. That's kind of a lot for a third liner. If he's not going to be playing first line time, that's kind of a lot. Jonas Brodin wants, what does he want? 1 year, 5.3. We might have to say goodbye to him. But then Chaz Lucius, this is a big one here. He wants 1 year, 5.2 mil. Yeah, he's going to want a little bit more, huh? Maybe a 4-year deal type of a thing at like 5.5 or so. That's pretty good for a second line center. 4 years, 5.5. And then Josh Morrissey at like 4 years, maybe 3 years at, I don't know, at like 10 point something. That's a pretty good contract for him. And then all these other guys down here, I'm not worried about signing them to extensions or anything like that. So the big questions for next episode are, who do we go after on the trade blocks, or do we just stand pat and keep it how it is? Who do we go after in extensions? Josh Morrissey definitely coming back. Besser, I'm not entirely sure of, nor am I entirely sure of Brodin, but then Lucius definitely coming back as well. So I might have to iron out these things with, the trusty old calculator and find out who we can afford and who we can't afford. But I definitely want Lucius and Morrissey. Besser and Brodin, maybe Brodin says goodbye and we throw Matt Dahl up there for the first line next year. That could be something that we look at. But either way, boys, that is going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you did. Remember, new episodes come out Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.